Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. This is a shot of whiskey, and this video, I'm pretty much going to be winging it. The video I have been working on lately got corrupted for whatever reason, I don't know. But rather than trying to remake this video in which I basically rip a dumb feminist to pieces, I figured I'm going to do something a little bit different and explain the very first time I was exposed to the concept of feminism, and part of the reason why it never sat well with me. It was around 1990, so I would have been 7, maybe 8, somewhere around there, and I learned about it from my older sister. Now, it could be possible that she was learning about this in school. Could have also been that she was picking it up on TV. I mean, she was really big into VH1 and MTV at the time. So it's possible that she picked it up from one of those channels. I don't know. But she actually would be like, hey, feminism has given me the power to be a bitch over you. And of course, she didn't word it this way. But, you know, she'd be like, yeah, I'm the girl, I'm the boy, I can get away with this crap. You can't. Perfect example, the whole listen to me because I'm the oldest sibling. That was a very common thing for a lot of eldest siblings to do. Well, in her case, she would only do that if our younger sister were also involved in the picture. If it was just her and I, guaranteed it was almost always because I'm the girl, you're the boy. Well, at least if we were at home with mom. If we were at home with dad, she would use the age thing. I think it's because she knew that dad wouldn't put up with that bullshit. But, she would use this as an opportunity to bully me into doing things that she should be doing. Such as, okay, so she had her own room, which meant that she also had her own trash can. She would want me to take out the trash. Now, part of her reasoning, I guess you could say, is it was agreed that I would take out the household trash as my one and only chore. I was like, okay, fine, why not? It's my only chore. What's the big deal? I think that she may have been like, well, he should be doing more because he's a boy, so I think she was trying to pawn this stuff off of me. Plus, she could have just been a lazy bitch. But, so she would want me to take care of her trash. And, of course, would threaten to tattle on me for not doing my job. She would also have me do the dishes every now and then. That was her job, was to do the dishes. Which, in a way, I suppose I could be thankful of that. I did learn how to do the dishes because of it. But I really do think that's an opportunity for her to pass off her responsibility so that she could just be lazy and commanding. She also did the very typical thing that a lot of girls have done, be they related to the boys or not, where they hit the boy and then go like, oh, you can't hit me back. I'm the girl. You have to be nice to me. Tee hee 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 hee. Only in her case it was probably like, wahahaha. So yeah, she did some other things to me as well, such as sitting on me. Yeah, she was more than just 3 years older. She was also fat. So, I was not. I was petite. I mean, I'm still kind of thin and slender, especially compared to my other sisters. Yeah, I'm the most slender of them all. Ha ha ha. But, yeah, she would sit on me. And in one case, she chased me around the house with a butcher knife. I don't remember what it was that I did to piss her off. But, I remember that I did make it to my room. I barricaded the door. So, honestly, I don't really think she was actually going to be chasing me around to kill me or whatnot. But I think she was doing it just to scare me. But I still tattled on her, and thank God Mom took my side on this one. So, being siblings, we also played together. There was a while to where we would play school. She would be the teacher, because of course she was the oldest one. Made sense. And there was the last time that we played, I stopped playing because I actually lost points for being a boy. I was like, oh, the schools don't work like that. And she's like, no, but they should. The Little Mermaid was a popular movie at the time. There was one time where we played, Ariel and Eric, and she was like, well, because I'm the girl, That means you have to do what I say. I'm the queen. Bow to me, kind of thing. And I was like, no, that's not how royalty works. You bow to the king, especially since I, as the prince that you married, I'm the one who's in charge of the kingdom. You only have any sort of a say here because you married me. I'm the one with the power. And of course, she didn't want to see reasons. So I'm like, fine, I'm not going to play this. Um, I had toys that she would often take, such as my bike, because she couldn't take care of her bike. And to be fair, I did abuse mine, but mine was meant to be abused. I mean, it was a typical boy rough house bike. Um, but she would also take like some of my sporting equipment, like my basketball, my soccer ball, my skateboard, and let our younger sister play with them because she was also into sporty stuff. Which I didn't oppose the idea of my sister playing with these things. I didn't like that our older sister was saying that it was okay, and that if I were to say no, she would like beat me up or whatever the hell it was. Um, Ken doll. You guys remember Ken? Well, I had one of those for a while. Um, I think I actually gave it to my older sister because of how many times that she was taking it from me. But, she would basically have him be Barbie's bitch, which I suppose, to be fair, he kind of is Barbie's bitch. But I didn't see it that way. I was like, this is my toy, not yours. And he's the man of the relationship. He shouldn't be treated like this, nor should he allow it to be treated like this. But, whatever. I would occasionally take some of her Barbie dolls and torture them too, so whatever. The one thing that honestly really pissed me off the most about our childhood was our younger sister, and one of the neighbor girls. For like 3 weeks, they did this game that I guess you could say is hit him in the nuts as hard as you can. Like they actually based it off of my reaction, seeing who could hit me in the nuts the hardest. Not only did this piss me off, but I would get in trouble for telling on them. And it wasn't because I was telling on them, per se. It was because I mentioned my boy bits. Like, the first time, I mean, I get it. I said my nuts. And again, with me being 7 or 8, somewhere around that time period, my mom didn't like her little boy referring to his boy bits as nuts. So I got in trouble. She didn't even give a damn about what my sisters were doing. Whatever. Second time around, I think I said testes. Because I don't think I was capable of saying testicles, even though I knew that that was the correct word. So I said testes, and I sort of got in trouble for that. So the third time, I said the parts that I have that they don't. Still didn't matter. I was still the one who got in trouble because I was still talking about that part of my body. It wasn't until shortly afterwards, our dad came by to visit, which this is something I'll tie into here in a little bit. We got to see him. We went over to his house or whatnot, and she and I got into some sort of an argument. I don't even remember what it was about, but she had said something along the lines of, this kind of thing, like, I'm the one who's making this decision because it's fair that I make this call. I'm like, oh, what? And if I don't go along with it, are you going to hit me in the nuts again? Now, of course, at first, my dad was a little bit upset that I used that term. He was like, why are you saying that? And that she's going to do that? Like, because she does. And so I told my dad a little bit about what was going on. And
Okay.
Sorry about the interruption there, everybody. My mom, ironically enough, was the one who called me. If you're curious about the song, it was Blood on My Hands by Exandria. I had to think about the title. It's one of my favorite songs, but I had to think about the title there for a moment. So anyways, when I told Dad about what was going on, he took my side and he wanted his daughter to understand that what she was doing was wrong, but he also made sure that I understood that referring to my nuts as my nuts was also an inappropriate thing for an 8-year-old to be doing. So when we got home, he let Mom know what was going on, and he was trying to be respectful about it. He was like, look, I'm not trying to fight. I'm just letting you know that our son brought this up. I agree with him that our daughter needs to be punished as well, and even more so, because what she's doing is by far worse than what our son is doing. So, and, he didn't really punish her either. And part of it may have been a personality thing, but I think a lot of it had to do with him knowing that if he punished her too much, that mom might have taken this to the courts and would have been like, oh, he's abusive to the children, he's bad, and he would have had his parental rights raped to death, even more so by the courts. Which this actually ties into the next thing I was thinking about wanting to talk about, which is how I've learned over the years that feminism is in fact anti-male. It's not just pro-female, it's anti-male. The whole dictionary definition of the equality between the genders is a bunch of crap. I've known about this for many years. And seeing how the divorce and family courts have just absolutely ruined my dad is a perfect testament to this. I mean, I did mention earlier in this video that we only saw him about once a month or so for quite a while, right? I'm pretty sure that I did. If I didn't, we only saw him about once a month, give or take. And it was largely due to him working so many jobs. Now, when I was about 7 or so, I thought that was just because my dad was an active person and that he was making money kind of thing. It didn't really occur to me until I was a little bit older, like, I don't know, 11, 12, somewhere around there, that he was doing it out of necessity. I mean, he was living with his parents for a while. He was living with his brother for a while. In fact, this particular story, he had just moved in with his brother. And he had to work these jobs so that way he can stay alive because of how much he had to pay in child support. And selective services. This was the subject that made me finally decide that there was no way in hell I was ever going to identify as a feminist. And actually, the timing of me bringing this up is partially due to the recent federal hearing case. At least I'm pretty sure it was a federal hearing. It was in federal court at the very least. It was in Houston or some shit like that. The more I'm saying this, the more I feel like I should have researched this a little bit more. But long story short, it was recently ruled that the idea of only males being forced to sign up for selective services was unconstitutional nowadays because women can now serve combat roles. So with that being said, I had turned 18 at the end of 2000. It was like 3 or 4 weeks after Bush had beaten Gore. And so during much of the month of November, I'm learning that if I'm going to vote, I have to sign up for selective services. And if I don't sign up for selective services by, I don't know, was it like 25 or some shit like that? I don't remember. There was a chance that I can go to federal prison. So it's a case of you're damned if you don't, and you're possibly damned if you do if a draft is opened up. Which, with me graduating in 2001, there was 9/11 taking place. For a while, I was like, oh shit, I might actually get drafted. But, it's kind of going a little bit ahead of what was going on with this particular story. But, I'm like, well, why is it that only the guys have to do it? Women can go into the military too. Why is it that I have to be forced into it? Why is it that I had to sign up for selective services and you don't? Now, of course, my sisters being women, well, to be fair, 2 of my sisters were too young for this to really relate to them anyways. But none of them could give a good answer at all. I was like, we're women. We can't be drafted. It's like, so? If that's the case, then you shouldn't be allowed to vote. If I have to do this in order for me to vote, you shouldn't have to vote or be allowed to vote until you have to do this. And my mom kind of agreed with me. At the very least, she agreed enough that it was bullshit that I had to sign up for selective services and my sisters didn't. I don't think she agreed with the idea of they had to sign up for it. I think she probably believed that the draft and selective services as a whole should go away. That was the way that my mom saw it, at least from what I understand. But yeah, so hey, feminists, try to defend that. Oh, wait, things have changed. You might not be allowed to defend it. Yay! We'll just have to wait to see how the laws change as a result of this ruling. So, I don't know. I suppose that in and of itself could make for an interesting video at some point. So, Hell, maybe if I actually read the article a little bit more, maybe I can do a response to that. Oh well, it's a little late for that. Uh, anyways, yeah, that's the video. Sorry that this image was boring as fuck, but hopefully the next video I make won't completely die out on me, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.